start with talking about the complexity in IT. Okay, the previous speaker Ashok talked about what all he did for 18 months to get it right. It's all because of the complexity involved in deploying solutions. If you look at 1980s, you had enterprises deploying solutions which primarily cater to packaged applications, manufacturing, distribution, then you have sales and after sales support, finance and accounting solution. All those things were coming as packaged solutions in 1980. And if you look at the next next era, then we had the ERP. In 1990s, we had a lot of ERP vendors coming in, bundling all these things together and putting as a very nice ERP solution. But implementing this is always a challenge. It takes great pride to explain you that our CEO was also the CEO and founder of Barn ERP, which got implemented in Boeing. Probably this is one of the largest ERP implementation in the world. Around 35,000 users are operational on this ERP solution. The best functionality coming out of box in and deployed in Boeing. You can see the MRP run 100,000 items will run in less than 2 hours. Okay, 35,000 users, 600 GB of production data. These are the details of the Boeing ERP implementation. The fact is that it's a model of all complexity. And I will give you some statements. If you look at these vendors, the aircraft, Airbus and Boeing, they have announced engineering delays repeatedly. And they are attributing this problem basically to the way they are doing IT and the products they have purchased and the inability to put things together in deployments. So let's look at it from a different perspective. If you look at an enterprise, we can see different layers. There's a strategy layer, there's an organization layer, and underneath you have the IT backbone, which comes with software and infrastructure layer. The changes that are happening in a strategy layer, it's more frequent, say 1 to 2 years. And in the operational layer, it is even more frequent, say 3 to 6 months. And what are the driving factors for that? You have Lean Six Sigma initiatives, value stream improvements, supply chain improvements, the continuous improvement process that the organization take. How the IT, the backbone, is reacting to this? It's very slow. You have just done an ERP implementation, spending a lot of time. You cannot change things that fast. But the business is changing very fast, and the strategy and the operational stuff, they want agility in the IT. This is not easily possible. There comes the next wave after ERP, which we call Business Operation Platform. The industry identifies it as BPMS. And what it does, basically it comes with a new set of solution which comes into your IT backbone and gives you the possibility to define new applications. New applications in a model-driven architecture. I will explain a little bit more about that. This really bridges the gap between the business and IT. The existing deployment, how to develop new composite applications using this technology. How does that work? Basically, this technology is workflow centric, and also system to system orchestration can be done. And the key factor is that it's all model driven, which means that you have a strong engine which can understand these models and execute. And the models can change anytime. Basically, this is coming from the XML technology where all the models are captured as XMLs, and then you have the engine which can understand these XMLs and execute. So what are these models? You have the process as a model, business rules coming as model. So if your business change, then you can make those changes very easily by remodeling those models, and which give you the flexibility to adapt at any point of time. It also has a very backbone which is supported by the SOA architecture, which helps you to connect to your existing systems, unlock your legacy as services, web services, and consume in this layer and build more agile and flexible process-centric applications. So let me move on. So BPMS gives you the ability to automate your processes in a new way, build new processes, and have also insight into how your business process perform. So you have activity monitoring tools, key process indicators are available out of box, which gives you visibility on how your process perform. So that is slightly different from traditional monolithic applications work, because you don't know exactly where exactly is the bottleneck, how your resources are performing. That information typically will not come from monolithic applications. You need a BPMS and workflow kind of solution to really understand where exactly is your bottleneck. So that was the wave which is happened after ERP. Let us talk about what is next, BPM on demand. So the same technology is now moving to the cloud. So the first thing is that your business processes are no more in your on-premise systems. It's in the cloud. The process goes online. And the next thing is that the process modeling environment, where you are modeling your process to develop your application, that's also going online. And further, the provisioning process, the applications are provisioned to multiple tenants. That provisioning process is also going online. Architecture. So let's talk about process modeling. It's a tool which allows you to develop new processes on the fly on the web. Okay, so how does that work? Let's look at the building blocks. You have the ability to store your data. You have the ability to model your interfaces, your processes, your workflow. You can model your business rules. You can create web services on the web. You can define your schedules to run your jobs in a periodic way. You can create reports on your data. All this happening on the web for your own particular enterprise tenant instance, so to say. So it's coming from a very shared infrastructure, but with a lot of exclusivity and separateness done for each tenant. So it can also orchestrate a lot of things. You can mash up your, we call it mashup application. Basically what it does is it can also consume a lot of other external services like widgets, gadgets, other web services in your application. So we are talking here about orchestration by developing composite application. Now, what are the user actions? This is a very key differentiator, probably also very surprising. You talk about the actions like model, assemble, wire, map, configure, but we never mention the name coding in an application development situation, which is probably very different. So we are not talking about a no coding environment, all model driven. How does that happen? This comes from the fact that already a lot of knowledge is available, a lot of applications are built, there is a lot of experience available, so you can build pieces which can be assembled together. The pieces can be configured to suit your application need. So that's the basic element which helps you to have a no coding environment. Okay, so and you have all models which can be run on this powerful engine. Our CEO says the next way will be that we are going to fire them back as composers with a lot of business knowledge. So that's the way the things are going to change, and the new trend is already started. So let me move on. What is the provisioning? So you see also a marketplace where there are a lot of applications or process-centric applications available on the web ready to consume. So you just go to the website where the marketplace is listing a lot of applications, process-centric applications, and you can take them in by just going through few clicks, and you have it running in the web for you. The next big thing about all these things is that these applications are also accessible from your mobile device. So here you have an example of a very consumer-centric application where you can place an order for a table in a restaurant in London by going through some screens, and which will in turn kickstart a process which is again in the cloud for that particular eatery enterprise. So let me conclude with a detail on the long tail of enterprise software development. What we are familiar today is the IT of high complex applications. Big applications where IT is in the driving seat, generic processes, a lot of users for those apps, big and permanent projects, high cost. That's one side of the story.